Oh, yummy. I just love chocolate chip cookies. Guys, if you're looking for a great recipe to make a wonderful batch of these cookies, then I'll tell you what, check this out. You're going to love what you find. Howdy guys, welcome back to Texas Cooking Today. On this episode, we get to make a fantastic dish. This is chocolate chip cookies. Who doesn't love chocolate chip cookies? Come on, really. I tell you what, I'm going to be showing you guys a wonderful recipe here. It's going to be one that you can really show off to your friends. We're going to take that base recipe and I want to teach you a little secret of mine and how to bump it up. Just that little extra notch, so that you have a cookie that people say, wow, they make the best tasting chocolate chip cookie I've ever had. You'll be surprised how this works, guys. It's great. So I'll tell you what, let's get in the kitchen and let's look at those ingredients and let's get busy making some of the best tasting chocolate chip cookies that you're ever going to put in your mouth. Come on, let's go. All right, guys, there we have it. Wonderful ingredients for chocolate chip cookies. Now let's discuss what we have going on here. First of all, right over here in this bowl, and this is my mixing bowl, 2 sticks of butter. You want those things to be about room temperature. We have to have them nice and soft because we are going to do what's called creaming, guys. The other ingredients I have, now that was 1 cup of butter, by the way, so you'll know. By measurement, 1 cup of butter, 2 sticks, all right? 2.5 cups of flour. You can use any kind of flour you want for this, guys. If it's an all-purpose flour, fine, bread flour, whatever works for you, works for this recipe. All right, sugars. We have 2 kinds of sugar. Now, most of the recipes that you'll see for chocolate chip cookies are going to say packed brown sugar, and that's what that is right there. As you see, it slid right out of my measuring cup. 1 cup of granulated sugar. I'm using a raw form of a cane sugar. I have 2 eggs here, and then there's the goodies. Of course, it's chocolate chip cookies, so you gotta have the chocolate chips. But nobody says that you have to use exactly the chocolate chips that are sold as chocolate chips. If there's a certain type of candy bar you prefer, you can put it in the freezer and then bash it with the bottom of a skillet or a hammer to make chips. Bam, use those. You're just gonna need 12 ounces of them, okay? Chocolate chips. I am using a semi-sweet morsel because the cookie's already sweet, so I don't need a cloying sweet chip. And if I put a milk chocolate chip in there, it makes the cookie too sweet. So consider that when you're doing this. Dark chocolates or semi-sweet chocolates work very well in chocolate chip cookies. Nuts. You're going to need 1 cup of nuts. Doesn't matter what kind of nuts you get, guys. You can use pistachios, you can use almonds, you can use Brazil nuts, peanuts. I'm using pecans. You can put walnuts in there too. I have some salt, 1 teaspoon of salt. Right here, 1 teaspoon baking soda. So here we have all these wonderful ingredients, 2 left, and that is 2 teaspoons vanilla extract. Very common on this recipe. You'll see it in almost every single one of them. And then here's our secret ingredient. This is the one ingredient, this little empty looking dish right here. In the bottom there is a clear liquid down in there. That is 1 teaspoon of almond extract. It's a secret. Don't tell your friends. Just put it in there and watch them be surprised. Why do your cookies taste so good? They're so rich. It'll be your little secret, guys. So a little bit of almond extract makes it just pop. Turns it into a completely and much more rich kind of dessert. Completely different. It's fantastic. Now guys, let's get over to our mixer and get busy creaming that butter. That's the next thing we have to do. Come on, let's go. Okay guys, now before we get busy with all of our mixing, number one, let's turn that oven on. We got to set it for 375 degrees. Flour, salt, gently, break that up, gently dusts that salt across the top and mix it in. Then the baking powder. And what I'm doing here is I'm just keeping myself from having lumps of salt or baking powder or anything like that. It's not clumped up in one spot. When creaming, we have to make the fat, which is the butter, light and fluffy. Right now it's already soft, as you can see, very soft. All I need to do is finish up that softening. And I'm going to turn this on. We're going to crank it up to a good high speed, and you'll see what happens here. Now, guys, come on over this way and let's look right down in the bowl and see what we have going on. Now, I'm going to speed that up a little. All right, guys, look at that. Our butter has fluffed up. It's almost doubled in bulk in there, guys. It's turned a lighter color. It's very, very smooth and creamy. Now what I want to do is I want to turn this on a lower speed, and I'm going to start creaming in some of the sugar. Very gently, I'm just going to start working in some of that sugar. Now if you'll notice, a little bit at a time, not all at once. And this is going to work that sugar into the butter. That brown sugar, just kind of break it up a little bit so it's no longer packed. And gently work it in. Guys, I worked it hard on that. Now, I've reached the impasse here. I have this wonderful, fluffy, lightly granulated, buttery sugar compound. It's absolutely beautiful. It's totally delicious. That alone by itself is just worth eating right there. Boy, talk about a spread for your toast in the morning. That would be it. Now guys, let's go ahead and begin slipping in those eggs, and then we're going to put in the extracts, and then I'm going to slowly start working in the flour. Let's just get these eggs down in here. Boom. Just going to slip them in one at a time. As that's gently going, let's put in our vanilla. Oh yay. And that little bit of almond, you remember that? Look at that. Just that little tiny amount. Almost imperceivable. But boy, it sure makes it just that little edge of richness. So I'm going to turn this on low. And another thing you guys need to understand about mixers, if it seems like it's really not doing what you need it to, don't worry about that. It's going to get it done. You got to be careful with these dry ingredients, guys, because while these mixers will throw out liquid ingredients pretty easy, they love to toss out the dry stuff. Yeehaw! It'll sound like it's going crazy, don't worry. Now this is a good point where if you wanted to use the dough hook, you can. I just finish it up with the paddle. Don't worry about it. Isn't that too cool? And look at that, guys. That is one beautiful, enormous batch of chocolate chip cookies. All right, now let's get it on the cookie sheet while we still have it putting out carbon dioxide so we get a good bake on them, okay? Let's go. Our cookies. How big you make your spoonful will depend on the size of the cookie. What you want to do is just to rake out a little bit on a spoon, and you want to place it on your baking sheet just by pushing it off with your finger, just like that. It doesn't have to be pretty, just a glob, just like that, guys. Don't get worked up over making these pretty. What you need to focus on is getting your spacing and sizing right. Okay guys, we're going to play a game real quick here, and this game is which one of these doesn't belong. And if you chose this one right here because it's too damn big, you're absolutely right, okay? So let's go ahead and I'm going to reduce that to what it should be. There, now it's like the others, okay? So you're looking for just a little lump that's about the size of half of a ping pong ball, okay? If you were to round it out to that, that was about what it would look like. Now, see those big old honking nuts I used in there? I didn't chop them down too much. I like to use big chopped nuts. And that way, I get something much more impressive in the cookie, I believe. Chocolate chip cookies get baked up in 8 to 12 minutes on average. Okay guys, let's get those down in that oven. Now, when you're running 2 pans, sometimes that lower pan will get more bottom browning than the upper pan will, guys. And guess what? That's just part of the way things go. If you don't want that to happen, then what you need to do is halfway through your cooking time, swap the 2 out to even things up. Now that usually handles the trick. They won't be identical, but they won't be completely different either. I'm going to set up our timer here. And I'm going to set, oops, I went one over, 9 minutes, start. So we're going to check that in 9 minutes, guys. Guys, they just came out of the oven. Now, I'm one of those that likes my cookies just a little bit darker. Some folks like theirs just a little bit lighter than I do mine. You choose yours however you want them. These are still a little soft. Just pull them right up off of that. Isn't that beautiful? There they are, guys. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? These beautiful, lovely chocolate chip cookies. Look at that. I like mine extra dark on bottom. Now, that comes with a consequence. When you go for that darker edge and the darker bottom like I like, it causes it to drop just slightly. Not a lot, but just a little bit. So, if you want your cookies to be just slightly thicker than what you see here, instead of doing that 9 minutes like I did, just drop it back by a minute. 8 minutes. Bam. You'll have that little thicker cookie, lighter on top, with a light brown crust on the bottom. Now, I just love stuff like this. You know the cool thing about a cookie like that? It brings back memories. Those childhood memories, boyhood memories. Wonderful. Christmases. It's amazing how strong food can be when it comes to triggering memory. It's robust. Pardon me, folks, that's just so good. I can't stop eating. Hey, I would like to say thank you very, very much for watching Texas Cooking today. If this is your first time to watch, do me a favor, please subscribe. I'm going to have recipes coming out for you on a regular basis, and it's going to be such good, wonderful stuff. If you have subscribed, I would like to say thank you very much and cheers to you guys. Please, if you like this video, click that like button. Leave me some comments or questions. I'll gladly do my best to provide you with the answer that you're looking for. And guys, one other thing, please have a good day. Bye-bye.